I've decided it's too much to write down sometimes. That's why I'm trying to talk out some of these word breakdowns. But just follow along with a little bit of this. Why do we call it food? And why do we dine on food? Okay. F. Form or force. But in this case, it's going to be form. 2 O's means ongoing, or occurrence. And we'll say that that's what you're looking at right in front of you. Like the word look, the word good, the word, anything with O is upon itself. The hood, upon itself. H, holding the car, O-O-D. And that's what you call it. It's description, or what it's derived. It's the hood. You move it up and down. It makes sense. And it's holding it in. Look at the shape of a D. So when we go to food, it's form, ongoing, and it's defined and derived. And D is also doing, and that's why we also say dine, D-I-N-E. What you're doing, D-O-I-N, din. Din is your inner fire, your inner spirit. There we go. There's food and dine. So now go from those and say, why do we say of? We say occurrence of form, or ongoing of form. So it's of that nature, okay? We go of. So let's take food back a tiny little bit. When something has already been formed, or you've already had that force of expression, now when it ongoes upon itself, now it's derived and it's defined. It's got another D. So it's fod, F-O-D-D-E-R, fodder. And that's what we call a pile of trees upon itself, because those forms have now occurred and they're ongoing, derived, defined, upon itself, expressed, reached, or recognized. Fodder. That's what it is. Now fodder can turn into soil and all kinds of stuff like that, but at that point fodder makes complete sense, right? Now keep going. Now father is one who brings forth a new bundle of sticks, a new child, a new sprout, a new seed, a father. Farther is what you're taking into the future, or into what's coming. So then we move back, and we go back to fodder, and we go to food, and we go to fad. Right now, if something's a fad, F-A-D, it's a good thing. It's the fad. It's what's going on. But when that thing that's going on, that actual defined thing, so it's a force, active, defined. Let's say that. Fad. Yeah, it's a fad. It's just this force that's actively defined right now. It's what's going on right now. When that goes to fade, force actively defined, or force as defined, now it is expressed, or it's that energy is now moving that way with an E pointing to the right. So it's expressing. So it's fading. It's not a fad anymore. It's not what's what. It's what was. It's fading. Fade. So then you go into stuff like 2 Ds upon itself, like fodder was. Now we say fudge, okay? F-U-D-G-E. From a unit that we've described, we generate a new expression, or a new energetic form. Fudge. It's a new form, unit, derived from generating energy, like stuff that we mix together. So fudge, or something could happen and you say, oh, fudge. So from what you've derived into your unit of definition and generated an expression. Fudge. You could do that with a lot of expressions, but they mean what they mean for a reason. So that's all I'm trying to do is tell you this. So that we go to the fudge, and we go to Elmer Fudd. Okay, a D upon a D, F-U-D-D. Sounds pretty funny to say it like this. But what did he do? He was a D upon itself. He was a formed unit, and he would say defined, and then say derived. What would that mean? Someone who is deranged or derived, and he could be deranged. And what did he do to derive? He hunted. He killed. Death. Doing death at that point. Like, it's kind of crazy to say stuff like that, but it's true. And he was a hunter. Every time you saw him, he was trying to hunt a rabbit, hunt a cat even. Not really a hunt it, but shoot it. He was very, very derived and very deranged. Like F-U-D-D, and it means that. The character played that character not because they knew that's what it meant, but because it's just, you can't escape spiritual patterns. And I couldn't say that means, delighted, because, he could be delighted too. Everyone is. Like, everyone has all sides. But when you play your description to a vocabulary definition, like, everybody that's ever lived has and is and will be doing this until we wake up and we don't let the "it was written" be written anymore. We can have books. We can learn from them. But once we become smart enough to not just dupe ourselves into believing everything we see and not worrying about it anymore, we'll be blessed and we'll be cured. So, until next time, my friends, peace. Oh, and that's no fudge.